So today we are discussing about torque and its derivation. Okay, what do you mean by torque here first? So torque is nothing but actually force, or you will say ability of force to produce turning effect. So you already know translational or linear motion, that is the motion along the straight line. Okay, so here the force which is responsible here for producing acceleration so that body or object travel along straight line is known as here linear force, and the motion is known as linear or translational motion. So just like that, here for rotational motion, the force which is responsible here is nothing but torque. So torque is nothing but the force, or you will say the ability of a force which will produce certain turning effect. Okay, it is also known as movement, or it is known as moment of force, or it is known as rotational force, or you will call it as turning effect. Okay, that is actually equivalent to the linear force in translational or linear motion. So here in rotational motion, the turning effect we are observing. Okay, so to produce turning effect or to produce rotational motion, actually the torque is responsible. Okay, what is the example here? First you can consider opening and closing of door. Okay, that is nothing but turning effect we observe here while opening or closing the door. Okay, so what is here? Where the knob of the door is kept, or here settled at the actually you if you are observing here, it is at the edge of the door. Okay, that is, it is very away from the hinges of the door. Okay, what if it is near the hinges? Okay, if it is near the hinges, the large amount of force will require to produce the turning effect, that is to produce or to open or close the door. Okay, so here as the knob is away from the hinges, there will be the less amount of force which will require to produce turning effect. Okay, so that will actually reduce the work done. So what is here? That is the meaning here, that the torque is actually depend upon the distance from the axis of rotation. Okay, so torque is nothing but the magnitude of torque is F into R, that is the force times the distance. Which distance? Perpendicular distance from the point of rotation. Okay, so we'll see in detail now. Here suppose we consider this force here is producing certain turning effect. This force is actually here at a distance, suppose we consider perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation or from the point of action of force. Okay, so this product force into this displacement will be nothing but torque. Okay, so what is the definition here? The product of magnitude of force and the perpendicular distance from the line of application of force is known as torque. Okay, so next here formula you can write it as, if we consider force as F, if we consider perpendicular distance as R, you can write it as tau equal to R cross F. Here we are denoting distance as D, so we are writing D cross F. Okay, so this tau is nothing but notation of torque. D is the distance, that is perpendicular distance between the axis of rotation and the point of application of force. F is the force which is producing turning effect. Okay, so next suppose we consider this is the force here which is producing certain turning effect. This is the point, or you will call it as axis of rotation. So if you are writing torque, that is tau, so what if we consider force as F, this perpendicular distance as R? Okay, that is distance between axis of rotation and the line of application of force, suppose we consider as R. And suppose we consider, if we consider here the line, that is axis of rotation, the angle here we consider theta. So you will complete your right angle triangle here, this is your 90 degree. Opposite side you will write it as R sin theta. So your torque tau will be equal to F into R sin theta. This R sin theta is nothing but perpendicular distance between line of application of force and axis of rotation. Okay, you can observe here in your GIF image. Okay, suppose tau we consider as here this vector, that is light blue vector. F R cross F is nothing but torque here. Okay. So line of application of force, here we consider this vector, this one, and this perpendicular distance. So torque will be along this line, that is along the axis of rotation and vertically upward. Okay. What next here? When you consider, suppose question is asked here to derive expression for torque in case of rotating body, what you will consider? Okay. First thing we will consider here, rigid body. Suppose we consider this rigid body is made up of n number of particles. All these particles are having masses m1, m2, likewise up to mn. And we consider here the distances of these particles from axis of rotation are r1, r2, r3, likewise rn. Okay, so your linear acceleration you can write related to each of the masses, that is m1, m2 up to mn. So you can write it as a1, a2, likewise an, right? So for first particle, linear acceleration will be a1 equal to r1 alpha. Okay, that is, we already know the relation a equal to r alpha. If you are applying this relation for first particle which is having mass m1, so you can write it as a1 equal to r1 alpha. Alpha is angular acceleration which will be constant here. Okay. Similarly, if you are defining linear force related to this linear acceleration, for first particle we are writing as F1. So we are writing according to Newton's second law of motion, we can write F1 equal to m1 a1. But a1 is actually r1 alpha. You can put here the value. So we are writing F1 equal to m1 r1 alpha. Okay. So according to, if you are applying the definition of torque, so according to the definition, magnitude of torque you can write as tau1 equal to, that is for first particle, so suffix 1 you will write. So tau1 equal to F1 r1. So F1 is nothing but m1 r1 alpha. So you will put here value m1 r1 alpha, and r1 here according to the definition, so r1 into r1 you can write it as r1 square. So we will write for first particle, torque acting on the first particle having mass m1, tau1 will be equal to m1 r1 square alpha. Okay. So similarly here for second particle having mass m2, you can write tau2 equal to m2 r2 square alpha. Similarly here for third particle having mass m3, you can write tau3 equal to m3 r3 square alpha. So similarly for nth particle we can write as tau n equal to mn rn square alpha. So these are actually torque for each of the given particles. So if you are defining total torque acting on the rotating body, so that will be summation of all the torques. Okay. So you can write total torque tau equal to tau1 plus tau2 plus tau3, likewise up to tau n. Okay. So tau will be equal to, you can put values of all these tau here. So for tau1, that is, if here it is m1 r1 square alpha. Now if you are observing alpha is common here, you can directly take it common. So remaining terms here will be m1 r1 square for tau2 plus m2 r2 square. Similarly for tau3 it will be m3 r3 square. So likewise for last one mn rn square. Alpha we are taking common from all the terms. So if you are observing this your bracket term, this your bracket term is nothing but actually moment of inertia. Okay. So this, as we consider discrete distribution of particle for the body, so we are writing moment of inertia in summation form, and this summation we are writing it as capital I, that is moment of inertia of rotating body. So you can write it as tau equal to I alpha. Okay. So this is like expression for torque. Okay. So if you are writing here, as you here seen the definition here for the torque, so torque is nothing but tau equal to distance into force. You can write its SI unit as Newton meter. Okay. So similarly you can define for Newton meter, you can write the dimension. Okay. So this is all about for today's lecture. We will continue in next lecture. So our next topic for the next lecture will be angular momentum and its conservation. Thank you.